Welcome to our exploration of the fascinating world of wind directions. Wind, a natural movement of air, plays a crucial role in shaping our environment and daily lives. From gentle breezes to powerful gusts, understanding the direction of winds helps us predict whether navigate the seas and even fly airplanes. In this video, we'll journey through the basics of wind, what causes it, and why its direction matters. Let's begin by uncovering what wind actually is and how it's measured, setting the stage for a deeper dive into the forces that guide its path. Wind is simply air in motion, moving from areas of high pressure to low pressure. This movement is driven by differences in temperature and pressure across the Earth's surface. When the sun heats the ground unevenly, it creates these pressure differences, setting air into motion. The result? The winds we feel every day. Understanding this basic principle is key to grasping why winds blow in certain directions and how they can change so quickly. Next, we'll look at how wind direction is named and why it's important for weather forecasting. Direction is always named for the direction from which it originates. For example, a north wind blows from the north to the south. This convention helps meteorologists, sailors, and pilots communicate clearly about weather conditions. Wind vanes and weather stations are commonly used to measure and report wind direction. By understanding where the wind is coming from, we can make better decisions in agriculture, transportation, and even outdoor activity. Let's now explore the main global wind patterns that shape our climate. Earth's rotation and the uneven heating of its surface create large-scale wind patterns known as global winds. These include the trade winds, westerlies, and polar easterlies. Each of these winds has a distinct direction and plays a vital role in distributing heat and moisture around the planet. The trade winds, for instance, blow from east to west near the equator, while the westerlies move from west to east in the mid-latitudes. Understanding these patterns is essential for predicting weather and climate. Trade winds are steady winds that blow from the east toward the west in the tropics. They are found between about 30 degrees north and 30 degrees south of the equator. These winds have been used by sailors for centuries to navigate across the oceans. Trade winds are crucial for moving warm water and air, influencing weather patterns and even the formation of tropical storms. Next, we'll look at the westerlies and how they affect weather in temperate regions. Westerlies are prevailing winds that blow from the west to the east in the mid-latitudes, roughly between 30 and 60 degrees latitude in both hemispheres. These winds are responsible for much of the weather experienced in North America, Europe, and parts of Asia. The westerlies help move weather systems across continents and play a key role in the global circulation of air. Let's now turn our attention to the polar easterlies and their unique characteristics. Polar easterlies are cold winds that blow from the east to the west near the poles. Found in both the Arctic and Antarctic regions, these winds are generally weaker than the trade winds and westerlies but play a significant role in the polar climate. The polar easterlies help drive cold air toward lower latitudes, influencing weather patterns far beyond the poles. Next, we'll discuss the Coriolis effect and how it shapes wind direction on Earth. Coriolis effect is a phenomenon caused by the Earth's rotation. It causes moving air to turn to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. This effect is what gives global wind patterns their characteristic curves. Without the Coriolis effect, winds would simply move straight from high to low pressure. Understanding this concept is crucial for grasping why winds don't always blow in a straight line. Let's see how this effect influences local wind direction. Besides global winds, local winds also play a significant role in our daily weather. These winds are influenced by local geography, such as mountains, valleys, and bodies of water. Examples include sea breezes, land breezes, and mountain winds. Local winds can change direction quickly and are often responsible for sudden weather changes. Understanding local wind patterns helps meteorologists provide more accurate forecasts for specific regions. Next, we'll take a closer look at sea breezes and how they form. Sea breezes are local winds that blow from the sea toward the land, usually during the day. As the sun heats the land faster than the water, the air above the land rises, creating a low-pressure area. Cooler air from the sea moves in to replace it, resulting in a refreshing breeze. Sea breezes are common in coastal areas and can bring relief from the heat. Let's now explore the opposite phenomenon, land breezes, which occur at night. Land breezes are winds that blow from the land toward the sea, typically at night. After sunset, the land cools faster than the water, causing the air above the land to become cooler and denser. This high-pressure air moves toward the lower pressure over the warmer water, creating a gentle breeze. Land breezes are most noticeable in coastal regions and can influence nighttime temperatures. Next, we'll look at mountain and valley winds and how they shape local climates. Mountain and valley winds are local winds that occur in hilly or mountainous areas. During the day, valley breezes blow up the slopes as the sun heats the valley floor, causing warm air to rise. At night, mountain breezes flow down the slopes as the air cools and becomes denser. These winds can have a significant impact on local weather, often bringing cooler temperatures at night and warmer air during the day. Let's now discuss how wind direction is measured. Wind direction is commonly measured using a wind vane, also known as a weather vane. This simple instrument points in the direction from which the wind is blowing. Modern weather stations may use electronic sensors for more precise measurements. Accurate wind direction data is essential for weather forecasting, aviation, and even sports. Next, we'll explore how wind direction is represented on weather maps and what those symbols mean. On weather maps, wind direction is often shown using arrows or barbs. The arrow points in the direction the wind is coming from, while the barbs indicate wind speed. Meteorologists use these symbols to quickly assess wind patterns over large areas. Understanding these map symbols helps us interpret weather forecasts and plan activities accordingly. Next, let's see how wind direction affects weather systems and precipitation. Wind direction plays a major role in shaping weather systems. For example, winds from the ocean often bring moisture and rain, while winds from deserts can bring dry, hot air. The interaction between different wind directions can lead to the formation of storms, cold fronts, and warm fronts. By tracking wind direction, meteorologists can predict changes in weather and warn communities about severe conditions. Next, we'll discuss how wind direction impacts aviation and navigation. Pilots rely heavily on wind direction for safe takeoffs and landings. Airports are designed with runways aligned to prevailing winds, allowing planes to take off and land into the wind for better control. Sudden changes in wind direction, known as wind shear, can be dangerous and require quick adjustments. Understanding wind patterns is essential for flight planning and safety. Next, we'll see how sailors use wind direction for navigation on the open sea. Centuries, sailors have depended on wind direction to navigate the world's oceans. By adjusting their sails to catch the wind, they can travel vast distances without engines. Knowledge of prevailing winds like the trade winds and westerlies has shaped trade routes and exploration. Even today, wind direction remains crucial for both recreational and commercial sailing. Next, let's look at how wind direction affects agriculture and crop growth. Farmers pay close attention to wind direction, as it can influence pollination, pest movement, and the spread of diseases. Certain crops rely on wind for pollination, while others may be damaged by strong winds. Wind direction also affects how pesticides and fertilizers are applied, ensuring they reach the intended areas. Understanding local wind patterns helps farmers protect their crops and maximize yields. Next, we'll explore how wind direction impacts air quality in cities. Urban areas, wind direction plays a key role in dispersing pollutants and maintaining air quality. Winds can carry smog and dust away from cities, but they can also bring in pollution from other regions. Understanding wind patterns helps city planners and health officials issue warnings and take action to protect public health. Next, let's discuss how wind direction is important for renewable energy, especially wind power generation. Turbines are designed to face the prevailing wind direction to maximize energy production. Accurate data on wind direction and speed is essential for placing turbines and optimizing their performance. Shifts in wind direction can affect the efficiency of wind farms and the stability of the power grid. As renewable energy becomes more important, understanding wind direction is key to a sustainable future. Next, we'll look at how wind direction is used in outdoor sports and recreation. Many outdoor sports, such as sailing, kite flying, and paragliding, depend on wind direction for success and safety. Athletes and enthusiasts monitor wind patterns to choose the best times and locations for their activities. Even in sports like golf and soccer, wind direction can influence the outcome of a game. Understanding how to read the wind gives competitors an edge. Next, let's explore how wind direction is important for emergency response and firefighting. Firefighters closely monitor wind direction when battling wildfires or urban fires. Winds can quickly change the direction and intensity of a fire, making it more difficult to control. By predicting wind shifts, emergency teams can plan evacuations and deploy resources more effectively. Wind direction is a critical factor in protecting lives and property during fire emergencies. Next, we'll discuss how wind direction influences the migration of birds and animals. Many species of birds and insects use wind direction to aid their migration. Favorable winds help them travel long distances with less effort, while unfavorable winds can slow them down or force them to change course. Scientists study wind patterns to predict migration routes and timing. Understanding these connections help protect wildlife and preserve ecosystems. Next, let's look at how wind direction is important for fishing and marine life. Fishermen often rely on wind direction to locate fish and plan their trips. Winds can influence ocean currents and the movement of nutrients, attracting fish to certain areas. In coastal regions, wind-driven upwelling brings cold, nutrient-rich water to the surface, supporting abundant marine life. Understanding wind patterns helps fishermen increase their catch and protect marine resources. Next, we'll discuss how wind direction is used in traditional weather lore and proverbs. Throughout history, people have observed wind direction to predict the weather. Traditional sayings like red sky at night, sailor's delight often reference wind and sky conditions. Farmers and sailors develop proverbs based on generations of experience, using wind direction as a guide for planting, harvesting, and setting sail. While modern science has improved forecasting, these old sayings still hold a place in our culture. Next, let's see how wind direction is important for architecture and building design. Architects consider prevailing wind direction when designing buildings to maximize comfort and energy efficiency. Proper orientation can enhance natural ventilation, reduce cooling costs, and improve indoor air quality. In some regions, buildings are designed to block strong winds or channel breezes for cooling. Understanding wind direction helps create sustainable and comfortable living spaces. Next, we'll explore how wind direction affects pollution and environmental health. Wind direction can carry pollutants away from or toward populated areas, affecting air quality and health. Industrial sites and power plants monitor wind patterns to minimize the impact of emissions. Environmental agencies use wind data to issue warnings and plan responses to pollution events. Understanding wind direction is vital for protecting communities and the environment. Next, let's discuss how wind direction is important for outdoor events and festivals. Organizers of outdoor events, such as concerts and festivals, monitor wind direction to ensure safety and comfort for attendees. Strong winds can affect stage setups, tents, and sound quality. By understanding wind patterns, event planners can make informed decisions about layout and safety measures. Wind direction also influences the spread of smoke from fireworks or grills. Next, we'll look at how wind direction is important for construction and crane operation. Construction sites must account for wind direction when operating cranes and lifting heavy materials. Sudden gusts can pose safety risks and disrupt schedules. By monitoring wind conditions, workers can prevent accidents and ensure projects stay on track. Wind direction also affects the spread of dust and debris, impacting nearby communities. Next, let's discuss how wind direction is important for renewable energy beyond wind power, such as solar and hydro. While wind power is directly affected by wind direction, other renewable sources like solar and hydro can also be influenced. For example, wind can cool solar panels, improving efficiency or effective evaporation rates in reservoirs. Understanding wind patterns helps optimize the performance of all types of renewable energy systems. Next, we'll explore how wind direction is important for transportation, including road and rail travel. Wind direction can impact road and rail travel, especially for high-profile vehicles like trucks and trains. Strong crosswinds can make driving hazardous and affect fuel efficiency. Transportation agencies monitor wind conditions to issue warnings and adjust schedules. Understanding wind direction helps keep travelers safe and goods moving efficiently. Next, let's look at how wind direction is important for scientific research and exploration. Scientists study wind direction to understand climate patterns, track pollution, and monitor the spread of diseases. Wind data is collected from weather stations, satellites, and research balloons. This information helps improve weather forecasts and informs public policy. Wind direction is also important for studying the movement of seeds, spores, and even volcanic ash. Next, we'll discuss how wind direction is used in military operations and defense. Military planners use wind direction to guide operations, from launching aircraft to deploying smoke screens. Wind can affect the accuracy of artillery and the spread of chemical agents. Understanding wind patterns is essential for both offensive and defensive strategies. Accurate wind data helps protect personnel and achieve mission objectives. Next, let's look at how wind direction is important for search and rescue missions. Search and rescue teams rely on wind direction to plan aerial searches, drop supplies, and predict the movement of missing persons or objects. Wind can carry scents, sounds, or debris, providing clues for rescuers. Accurate wind data increases the chances of a successful mission and saves lives. Next, we'll discuss how wind direction is important for environmental monitoring and disaster response. During natural disasters like hurricanes, tornadoes, or chemical spills, wind direction is a critical factor in emergency response. It determines the path of storms, the spread of hazardous materials, and the safety of evacuation routes. Emergency managers use wind data to make informed decisions and protect communities. Next, let's explore how wind direction is important for health and comfort in everyday life. Wind direction influences how we experience temperature and comfort outdoors. A cool breeze on a hot day can provide relief, while a cold wind in winter can make temperatures feel much lower. Urban planners and landscape designers use wind data to create comfortable public spaces. Understanding wind direction helps us dress appropriately and plan outdoor activities. Next, we'll discuss how wind direction is important for art and cultural expression. Wind direction has inspired artists, poets, and musicians throughout history. From paintings of windswept landscapes to songs about the changing breeze, wind is a powerful symbol of change and freedom. Cultural festivals often feature wind-related activities like kite flying or wind chimes. Understanding the direction of winds connects us to nature and our shared heritage. Next, let's look at how wind direction is important for technology and innovation. Advances in technology have improved our ability to measure and predict wind direction. From high-tech weather stations to smartphone apps, we now have access to real-time wind data. This information is used in fields ranging from transportation to renewable energy. Innovations like drones and autonomous vehicles also rely on accurate wind direction data for safe operation. Next, we'll discuss how wind direction is important for global trade and shipping. Global trade and shipping have long depended on wind direction. Ancient trade routes were established based on prevailing winds, allowing goods to move efficiently between continents. Even today, wind patterns influence shipping schedules and fuel consumption. Understanding wind direction is essential for the smooth flow of international commerce. Next, let's look at how wind direction is important for personal health and well-being. Wind direction can influence allergies, respiratory health, and the spread of airborne diseases. Pollen and pollutants carried by the wind can trigger symptoms or spread illnesses. Health professionals use wind data to issue warnings and advise vulnerable populations. Understanding wind direction helps us take precautions and maintain well-being. Next, we'll discuss how wind direction is important for energy conservation and building efficiency. Properly designed buildings use wind direction to enhance natural ventilation and reduce reliance on air conditioning. By capturing cool breezes and blocking hot winds, energy use can be minimized. Architects and engineers study local wind patterns to create efficient, comfortable spaces. Understanding wind direction is a key part of sustainable design. Next, let's look at how wind direction is important for scientific exploration of other planets. Scientists study wind direction on planets like Mars and Venus to understand their climates and weather systems. Robotic landers and orbiters collect wind data, revealing patterns that are both similar to and different from Earth's. These discoveries help us learn about the potential for life and the challenges of future exploration. Next, we'll discuss how wind direction is important for forecasting and preparing for extreme weather events. Accurate knowledge of wind direction is vital for forecasting hurricanes, tornadoes, and severe storms. Meteorologists use wind data to predict storm paths and issue timely warnings. Communities can prepare and respond more effectively when they know which way the wind is blowing. Understanding wind direction saves lives and reduces damage during extreme weather events. Next, let's look at how wind direction is important for daily decision-making. From choosing what to wear to planning a picnic, wind direction influences many of our daily decisions. Checking the wind helps us prepare for changing weather, enjoy outdoor activities, and stay comfortable. Whether you're flying a kite or just taking a walk, knowing which way the wind is blowing makes a difference. Finally, let's summarize what we've learned about the direction of winds and their importance in our world. Summary: the direction of winds shapes our weather, environment, and daily lives in countless ways. From global patterns to local breezes, understanding wind direction helps us predict storms, grow crops, generate energy, and stay safe. Advances in technology continue to improve our ability to measure and use wind data. By paying attention to the direction of winds, we can make better decisions and appreciate the invisible forces that shape our world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the winds.